Hello, everybody, and welcome
Happy
back
Black
to
History Month.
what?
Happy Black History Month.
Oh, yes. Happy Black History Month,
Where's
everybody.
Deconstruction of Black History Month? Get it together. Anyway, happy Black History Month.
It is so funny to me. I feel like every month is Black History Month, which is why it's always alarming when someone says it to me, because I
Imagine
am Black History.
that. Imagine that. But
Yeah, I
we
do.
particularly celebrate in February because that's
We
what the
do.
man told us to do.
Which is part of the whole problem. I don't think we have a slide today about Black History Month, but I may talk about it when my time comes because I don't know how it was invented. I don't know where it came from. Do you know the origin story of Black History
Did
Month?
you know that this is the 100th Black History Month?
So we've had 100 years of formal recognition by the man.
Correct. Correct. I know some of the history, but I don't remember the name of the person that created it. But yes, I do know a bit about it. Yes.
The man recognizes us. However, if you don't recognize me, I'm Dr. Flo. Not telling you what I heard, but what I know. What I know is that you are loved and lovable. You've always been loved and lovable. You're always going to be loved and lovable for the rest of your days. And part of being loved and lovable means playfully entering into this week's podcast, talking about the Black history that we are. Tara is going to be speaking very, very shortly about the Black history that she's making in Minnesota. I was able to see that magic, hear that magic, be part of that magic last night, but we'll get there very, very soon. And I'm an online and inner life coach and mentor. I've dedicated the last decade plus of my life to helping creatives lift their dreams and to feel seen and expressed in the world in a clear and confident way. And part of that clarity and confidence is the Deconstruction Junction podcast from Love and Action Network, which started as private conversations between Tara and I about all of the things that we were witnessing in the news and the rumblings of conversations in our family and friend group. And like all self indulgent humans, we said, this should be a podcast. This is a television show. Our lives are like a movie. Let's start sharing it out on YouTube and Twitch and other spaces with folks. And so that's what we're here to do today. It's February the 6th, 2 days before my 42nd birthday. And it is a thrill to be able to share our light and love and thoughts with all of you on the planet. As always, on this particular podcast, I'm joined by the fiercely amazing and wonderfully talented Tara Praolo, who is not only our co-host here, but also is one of the chief architects and operation officer at Love and Action Network. But she'll introduce herself to you and all of the hats that she wears. And take it away, Tara.
Hello, puppets. It's Tara again. Which I'm giggling at right now because we had a whole discussion the other night at the opera about how I'm named after a freaking plantation, which is a wild experience as a biracial human. But anyway, I am Tara Priolo, and no, that is not my maiden name. I'm not Italian, folks. That's not in my bloodline. I kind of wish I was, though. But anyway, they have really good food in Italy. Okay, get on with it. I am your resident Black biracial, multi passionate musician. I help you release the entanglements that you've placed upon your voice to make the intangible tangible. Okay, there's that. I am a human. I help other humans. That is what I will say about myself. Um, I do a lot right now. I'm doing a lot of singing. I'm doing a lot of performing. I'm doing a lot of teaching. I'm doing a lot of activist update type things, and building out my business, like many of you that are listening. So I hope it is going well for you. And I am finding my stick in the mud and my mission and seeking to embody and walk it alongside of some other super fabulous people in and out of Love and Action Network. If you are a person with a story and or a business and or an activism and or you just want to blab, you just want to yap because we like to yap, um, you can go to the website and live chat us and request to be on this podcast or any other iteration of the podcast. And you could be your name here with your little Bitmoji and bring us whatever you got. What you got cooking? Hey, hey, good looking. What you got cooking? Y'all know who that's by? Rest in peace. Rest in peace to that man. You know? I don't know if you're talking or not. Okay.
Who who said that?
Hey, hey, good looking. What you got cooking? Poppy would know. Jimmy Buffett. Jimmy Buffett was
Oh,
on that particular track. I don't think he was the main person on the track, but anyway. That's Jimmy Buffett. Rest in peace, Jimmy Buffett.
rest in peace. It makes me want a slice of key lime pie dipped in a shell of chocolate right now.
That part.
All
That
right,
part.
you're up first today. I'll click
I
on
am.
through. We got to do this in under an hour today, folks, because the Adopt a Black Artist program from Love and Action Network has been popping. We are servicing quite a few artists right now with my personal goal of 300 this year. I probably should do 365 because that's how many days. And an artist a day on average would be an amazing accomplishment. We are occupying the dreams. And first, though, we're going to talk about the
Speaking of
idiots,
occupying,
the idiots who occupy. Yeah.
right? How ICE occupies. And if you click forward one more, because the last update I gave you all also had to do with Liam and Liam being taken. Liam is a 5-year-old who was taken to Texas and like literally kidnapped with his father. And they were in the Dilley Detention Center for a bit. And because of public pressure and a very awesome judge in Texas, Liam was released along with his father. They arrived home last Sunday. However, just yesterday, DHS appealed that ruling, seeking to send Liam and his family back to Dilley Detention Center because they are so angry that a 5-year-old would be released from the horror that is the Dilley Detention Center.
What the
So,
hell?
yeah, so they are trying to send him back. They are trying to revoke the asylum status that his family has, and they have been in the courts trying that. Also, the day after that Liam, that doesn't make sense. The day after Liam arrived back in Minneapolis, there was a credible threat against the school that Liam attends, and so that school closed. They have been open the rest of the week, but yeah, it's not cool. This little boy in his bunny hat, along with hundreds of other children, um, only 2 of which I know of have been released. So Liam's been released, and then another little girl who is 11. Her name is Elizabeth, and you can find more about her story on Jana Shortle's Instagram. She's talked a lot about Elizabeth. So those 2 have been released, but there are certainly a ton of others that we also need to focus on and hopefully keep Liam out. And if we go one more slide, I got a couple things to read to you. I'm not going to give you all a full recap. You can go to my Instagram and look at my daily update posts to get really caught up. But this post from Minnesota Jenny, it says, "Sorry, I can't hang out. I have to go walk the perimeter of my child's school to make sure that the federal government doesn't try to come for any of the children or staff." And that's, I think, a pretty encompassing glance at what it's like to live in Minnesota. Like you like have to check the perimeter of every grocery store, every church, every parking lot, every school bus stop, every like it's yeah. And then also this week, Tom Homan, who is known as the border czar, who replaced Greg Bovino, announced that 700 agents are leaving Minnesota means nothing. This was so they said 700 agents are leaving, and this is Doc Amber Alton um, responding to this. So Tom Homan announcing that 700 agents are leaving Minnesota means nothing. It's all PR. They drew guns on people yesterday. They're deploying chemical irritants this morning and don't believe anything those people say. So essentially, yes, there are 700 agents leaving. I think I saw today. However, there are still 2,300 ICE agents here in Minnesota, which is still the largest deployment of ICE agents in a state that doesn't have a large population of either immigrants or undocumented immigrants. Not that it matters, but ICE has also changed tactics and has used plainclothes a lot more. They are purposefully infiltrating the protests and arresting protesters. They surrounded a car on Tuesday with guns drawn. They tried to enter a school bus that just happened to be in the wrong spot because school buses cannot back up like that on a public street. So they've been doing some pretty horrible things. So while no one has been shot and killed this week, I don't think that that is outside of the realm of what could happen. There's been plenty of tear gas, plenty of other chemical irritants. I saw today that a woman in LA was shot in the stomach with a rubber bullet. She's pregnant. By ICE. And so, like, just like, yes, Minnesota is very occupied. Yes, we are focusing on Minnesota. However, this is also happening still in Chicago, LA, Arizona. Obviously, like I said, most of the people that are detained here are sent to Texas without due process. Like, they're literally abducted and put on a plane to Texas, like before their lawyers can even get to them. So that's the backdrop of all of this. So that's my ICE update.
I don't like it, which is the reason why we speak up and out about this and put our names and our businesses and our reputations on the line for this. I don't like that the evildoers and the domestic terrorists are making people feel unsafe in their schools and their homes and in the supermarkets. There are people in Tara's environment and also here locally in Savannah who are afraid to go shop for food
Yep.
because they're afraid of being taken. People have been taken from the apartment complex that I currently live in. And what's even nuts is that I heard this speak in my ear hustling over on Clubhouse that there is a huge contingency. I'm not sure if you knew about this. There's a huge contingency of of Afro-Indigenous Black ass people who believe that this is okay because they are saying that we were the lead minority first. And so the Latino immigrants are taking our place. If anyone should get the benefit of social services and having a place to live and places to go shop for food, it should be us first. That the civil rights movement and the laws that came after took away our first rights of refusal to the resources. I'm trying to figure out how that squares with the fact that we have enough for everybody
Right.
and we're
I'm also trying to
simply
figure out how that squares with the fact that, like, the it's not like liberation is not black people taking over the current government or black people taking over social services or black people leading. Liberation is abolishing the entire fucking system that makes us all sit here and have these conversations over and over and over again and determining who gets humanity and who doesn't get humanity. Because that's what you're doing. Like, black people out there, Afro-Indigenous people that are talking like that, like, y'all are like, you're employing the same thing that got us here in the first place, right? um and as we've said a million times, like, you're employing the masses tools, and that's not going to end in your liberation, girl. And I would also push back and say that, like, in Minnesota, the actual reason that ICE infiltrated here and Donald Trump went after this state is because of Somali people who are blackety ass people. Okay. So like it doesn't actually, like, yes, brown people, Latino people are also being taken, but the Somali people are the reason that we were targeted because of this fake fraud case, the 2025-2026 fake fraud case, which actually was solved back in 2023. So like this whole thing is actually still targeting blackety black ass people, you know? So
Yeah, I just
that's
pulled a Google search of what Somali people look like, and I could be Somali.
right. Right.
So it's only creating more pressure on the community that wants to be the first minority. That doesn't get us anywhere.
Does not get us anywhere because again, it's believing in a hierarchy, and as long as we believe in a supremacist culture, we're never going to get free, you know?
Tit for tat to death.
Right. Exactly.
Whew.
A mess.
Pressing forward, I just want to give you all some updates on the stability of what we're working on here in Love and Action Network and Love City Arts Performance and Confidence Academy and the Adopt a Black Artist Program and beyond. I want to tell you that we are jumping hurdles like Olympic runners.
Wrong sport. Ski jumpers. That's what we have in this Olympics. We don't have runners.
I'm sorry, there's a relevance score that's happening behind the scenes, and I have to make sure that we are culturally competent and socially relevant. So, just like ski jumpers, we're jumping over the hurdles. Yesterday on TikTok, the young lady who was the front desk worker at the extended stay hotel that we lived in for weeks came through, and I cried with her on the TikTok live about what a wonderful, kind, and compassionate presence she was in one of the darkest times of my life. I knew that we'd always be headquartered in Savannah and have our own apartment and have our own transportation and be able to root to rise here. But in my pessimistic mind, I did not see it happening as quickly as it has. And I just want to let you all know that because of the stability in Savannah that's been restored, we're able to service so many artists and keep our programs going and really be of direct impact to the encouragement, equipment, and empowerment of people globally who are counting on us to help them champion their dreams. There are people who are relying on all of us today for the attaboys and the upliftment and the resources to be okay. Reminds me of uh, Ingrid. I just want to be okay, be okay, be okay. I just want to be okay today. Right? And so I want to thank the community who's been tuning in for contributing to my stability and the stability of Papi Wata and the air mattresses, the gas money, the deposit funds, the take this money and do with it whatever you need to do with it to be okay and to continue to lift your dream and lift your life. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And it has really restored my confidence time and time again in what I call the economy of kindness, which the Adopt a Black Artist Program is built upon. You know, this idea that we're never too busy to help someone lift their dream. We're never too busy to contribute time, talent, and treasure as resources. We're never too tired or busy to help someone else's dream come true. And we will continue out of Poppy and I's flow to pay it forward and to honor the dreams of people in Minnesota, Pennsylvania, LA, DC, New York, Missouri. There are people all over the planet who are being benefited by the help and the stability that you all have provided to us, it can be really, really challenging. It can be really challenging to see your way through the darkness without people around you saying you will see your way through your particular darkness. If you got that stinking thinking thing going on, or if you're like me and you're prone to overthinking and toxic rumination, toxic
What a
rumination.
term.
Did that nail it or not?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
If you're like me and you're prone to toxic rumination, uh, based on survival instincts and needs, it can be very hard to find the stability in your flow if not for people around you saying, we've all had challenging moments, we've all had periods of darkness, we shall overcome. We
Happy
shall
Black
overcome.
History Month.
Yes, happy Black History Month. We shall overcome today and someday to come as well. If you're interested in continuing to help me build what I am building and seeing things through as we build these programs and shows and continue to do what I thought was impossible, but it's not. It's just challenging as life is. If you want to continue to pour back into the world through a program like this and through a heart like mine, Fuel for Flow is available, and we are graciously accepting time, talent, and treasure in all the ways that we can to build and manifest this dream. We are worthy of our dreams, and we're starting to act like it.
Yes, we are.
We're starting to act like it. And speaking of acting like it,
I
we have
got
an
compliments on my
actress.
facial expressions last night.
Say it again.
I got compliments on my facial expressions last night.
You are a very expressive and captivating and compelling presence on the stage.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what the people said. I saw somebody that I haven't seen in, like, probably, like, close to 10 years, that came to the show last night. Shout out to Rob Banks. I love you. I'm so happy I got to see you. Um, it's great. Um, anyway, y'all, so, there's a world premiere opera happening in Minnesota right now. It is called My Name is Florence. It is Happy Black History Month, okay? It is a Black woman composer. It is a Black man librettist. It is a blackity black ass cast. It is, about a Black woman, okay? It listen, it's Black, okay? It's got Black themes. Flo was shouting out the spirituals last night. He's wade in the water. Wade in the water. Yes, amen. Yes. Uh we going to church, okay? We going to church, we going to the party, we going to the dinner, we it's very Black. It's a very Black show. Like there's no hiding that it's a very Black show. So this, for those of you that are on a visual platform, this is from one of the review articles that I put up here. So we've got like a piece of the poster, and then we've got an almost full house. Last night was actually fuller than opening night. There were people that had been there before. There was a fabulous panel talk, which I'll be talking about on my Instagram. Somebody, after seeing the show, had asked about the context, like, and the content of the piece, which there's a large part about passing, right? The and that's like my part, and it was just such an interesting conversation. um I learned things about the leads that I had no idea, and just that kind of conversation about the generational trauma, as we were talking about earlier, of how we pass that down and how we choose to pass that down. And there's so many moms in this show, like Flora, who plays Florence B. Price, is a mom to like a little I think that kid is like 15 months old. Deb is a mom to a 13-month-old. I am a mom to a 21-month-old, and I'm pregnant again. Lisa is a mom. She's the head of the chorus essentially, and then the chorus master, who's not black but is also a mom of a 20-month-old. So like everybody's got a baby. you know, and that's a very important theme in the show, is this motherhood and how we pass down the things. And one of the last lines is, men give their name to their sons all the time. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't mothers? Right? And it's a really stunning piece that is lighthearted and singable, but has all of these like very deep held traumas of the black community and of black women inside of classical music and black people inside of classical music. It's been, I can't believe we're halfway over. I can't believe you're going. I can't believe he's gone. I
Can't believe
can't
this family
believe.
must die. This is
Goodbye. So I have that. The next slide, I don't remember what's on the next slide. Oh, pictures of me. So the first picture here is a couple of my chorus friends. Isla is on the left of me, and Jawan, he's my scene partner, he's behind me. And then we're actually with B.E. Boykin, the composer. And then the other picture is with Mikelia, another chorus member, still Jawan and Isla. And then Ebony, who is wearing the most fabulous dress. And Ebony is the stage director. So once again, we have like even more blackness, right? Like the costume design is by a black person. His name is Trevor. Love him down. Like they're just, it's, yeah, it has been so wonderful. And as Flo was mentioning earlier, he got to listen in last night, so that's wonderful. And I actually think he might have enjoyed it. I think
Yeah, I typically, those of you who've been listening to the podcast for years, and we've been producing this for years,
years.
you will know that the black mama, white mama, lighter than a paper bag, darker than a paper bag, there's a concept in the show where they say, stay light like me. I was just like listening to it. I'm like, oh, here we fucking go again. But let me tell you something. Talked to Poppy about it as it was going on. He was like, these pieces are culturally significant because they remind us of what we had to come through and the bullshit we had to entertain and endure in order to be who we are today. And what made me get over myself and my quips with the black mama, white mama programming was how excellently executed this show is. The orchestrations are fantastic. The lyrics are amazing. The interweaving of black spirituals into the contemporary musical context of the opera and the power of the words and the lyrics and the storytelling, chef's kiss. It is so
Very
powerful.
similar piece.
The one thing that can make me go gaga for a piece is when it is properly executed and excellently executed. And this is one that you can be very proud of having participated in, Braolo, because it's just top notch. And not only is it top notch, it is really accessible to audiences and also performers. You should also know that the same author is working on a African traditional religion piece all around. Which deity is it?
I don't remember, but we said that Poppy would like it. I can't remember who it is, but that's at Maryland Opera, y'all. And I just hope that this opera that we're premiering gets picked up. We were talking last night with one of the VPs of Menop, and we were like, this should be like a season 1, season 2 thing. Like we should do like Florence Price this year, Margaret Bonds next year. Like we should just keep adding black composers. I'm going to BE's
That one's
Instagram.
going to be about Oshun.
You found it, yeah. So
Yeah, it's all about like the God of love saving the world. So the reason why I bring this up while kind of cross pollinating the promo is because this person is doing black themes in a really remarkable and compelling and contemporary way. We're tired of seeing, you know, shout out to those who are doing ragtime and all of these things that
Well,
have been
even
done
like
before.
Porgy and Bess, right? Like it's a trauma porn story of black people, you know, and it's like black people are more than trauma. We're much more than trauma. And and I think one of the things that BE said at the panel discussion on Saturday, that I told Flo about because it really resonated with me. And again, there's such a theme to like being in a black cast performing an opera by a black composer with black libretto, with black people up and down the program, right? Um, is that everyone has this similar story of like, particularly in classical music, not seeing faces like ours on anything, right? Like, and one of the things that BE said, and this is why I think her compositions in particular are so magical to me because she's got solo rep, she's got choral rep, she's doing opera now. Like she's a composition pianist, but she her classical pianist, but she never took a composition class, y'all. Like, and she said that the only reason she started composing was because someone told her that she couldn't. And when she said that, it just jogged me back to 20 years ago when someone asked me, you know, like, well, when someone told me, like, you're never going to make it in the classical music world. And look at me now. Like, you know, like I'm one of the few that absolutely does survive on performing and teaching and living in this classical world as a biracial person, unafraid to be radical, unafraid to be in front of you and say, actually, yes, I can. Hashtag Obama. You know, actually, yes, we can. And so like, I really, yeah, again, like that yes, the passing conversation and the colorism conversation is so annoying, but one of the things that I was talking about with a couple of the girls last night was like, we don't actually get to have this conversation in front of a diverse crowd ever. We get to have it an insular conversation with ourselves, whether that be biracial or you know, black community, but we don't get to have it openly, right? It is always behind closed doors, with the exception of here and of course like other places that I put it out, right? But like we don't get to do that in front of white audiences. We don't get to do that. We don't get to say we're claiming our blackness, right? We don't get to do that in front of most white audiences. We get to assimilate, we get to be the diversity hire, but we don't get to have our conversations in public. And that's what I think that this particular opera does, because at the same time, like this is based in the 1900s, right? It's like 1900 to like 1940. And you're really like in it, of like this woman who is she is the first black woman to ever have a major symphony perform a work of hers. Not BE, but Florence B. Price, who this opera is about, right? And like it really gets into the intricacies of being a woman in classical music, of being there's a line, you know, like um she says I'm going to go teach, and this other guy, his name is Professor Chadwick, he says but you're a composer, and she says but I'm a woman, and he says there have been other women composers, and she says but I have Negro blood in my veins. And that is the like that's the thing, that she is facing both sexism and racism inside of this elitist, disgusting container, right? And how do we survive in that, right? And how do we fight back in that, and how do we take power from that system? And I really think it's a statement on that conversation. And I'm really glad that I was in the orchestral workshop, because I do sing the line "So Stay Light Like Me," and I have a lot of guilt around being light, even though I have no control over it. Um, but it's definitely something that like I'm now emboldened to go have the conversation on my Instagram, because I think we do need to have a conversation about the fact that like I'm not choosing to be passing. I never have. I literally have never chosen to pass my entire life, right? Even though some people's perception, particularly in the Black community, is that I'm choosing to pass simply because my skin is light. And that is not true. And that's a conversation that the Black community has to wrestle with, not the white one that we all love to blame. The Black community has to have that conversation, right? So anyway, that's enough. If you're local to Minneapolis, we have 2 more shows this weekend, and if you're not local, I hope that you could tune in last night, and hopefully there will be like a recording. They said on NPR that I think they'll play it again like next year, but I'm hoping that this particular opera gets picked up by HBCUs and opera spaces in blackety black cities near you. So I'm really hoping to do that, and I hope I get to perform it again. But yeah, you were about to say something. I cut you off.
You were amazing. You were really amazing. You did shine, and these are necessary conversations.
Yeah, we got to heal. I mean, that was the conversation last night. It's like we got to heal it. We got to heal it with everybody, because at the base of what we're doing to each other is exclusion. And again, exclusion is a massive tool, right? Like,
What I loved about the piece was that the characters were not subjugated to being one thing. You know, yes, I'm a composer, I'm a woman, I'm a mother. There was a lot of cute dialogue that happened around the letters that were being written to the parents. You know, she says hello, she says hello, you know, like kind of like it was everyone had multiplicity inside of them, and that's how we live today.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
and I loved that. And I said this in the back channel chats over in your WhatsApp community, which we need to advertise, that Tara is a administrative lead and supporter, often wearing the hats of executives in multiple organizations, including mine. She's a mom, she's a wife, she's a dog mom,
As you can hear, Millie.
you know, uh, actor. You know, there are just so many hats that you wear, and then you go to stage. Like a lot of you may not know that yesterday Tara was producing community art as part of one of the nonprofits that she's working with and aligned with. And that was happening in the morning while walking a toddler up and down stairs, while plugging into Love and Action Network and what we had going on behind the scenes positively, and then had to go and wig up and suit up and step onto a main mega and major stage in Minnesota at the Ordway. And, you know, that's just a lot of and a lot of humaning happening. So, hats off to the legacy of Florence B. Price, and also how you resemble what she was doing and who she was in your present. And this is your legacy, something to leave behind for Piper, saying that women like me do all the things. It's truly unstoppable magic and unfuckwithable energy. I appreciate it.
That part. Let's move on. We gotta go. Thank
She's like, thank you for the roses and
you for the
what's
roses. We are on a time constraint.
we are. Oh my goodness. Blue Centric says, I'm sincerely surprised that people are surprised by that Trump repost. Have you seen, you spoke about Obama earlier. Have you seen the post?
Yeah, the Obama and Michelle heads on monkeys with very racist. Like he did this back in 2008. I saw a post yesterday that was like Donald Trump was racist in 1978. He's racist in 1985. He's racist. Like he's been racist. Like like hello,
That's
hello.
what makes him popular to the palm colored people.
Right.
It's this made me think about watermelon people, which we talked about on the podcast before. I saw it and I see and instantly recognize the lunacy, delusion, and mental illness of a whole subsection of the population. I'm not offended by it. I'm not angered by it. It did nothing to my systolic and diastolic pressure. When
Right.
people show you who they are,
Believe them and let it be. Like no one is going to make Donald Trump not racist. He's an 80-year-old man. Like, he's going to be racist until the day he dies. So like this, like don't give him the fight. Don't like as much as I'm mad at Tim Walz and people for being like be peaceful in the streets because I'm like we're not going to be peaceful when people are shooting us with rubber bullets. That's crazy. But also like don't bring a fight to somebody that it's a complete waste of time, right? Like don't give them the energy. And Fiona Flight has been talking about this on her lives the last few days of like the fact that these kind of rich powerful people are essentially like fear leeches, like they are feeding on the fear and the anger and the winding up of the population, essentially. And that's like by winding up, and I said this in my morning yap this morning that I haven't posted yet, but like the anger can be the thing that gets you activated, but it cannot be the thing that sustains you because they will feed off of that. Like they will get emboldened by your anger. It's just like a bully,
it's
right?
aura farming. Aura farming.
Right. How do you destroy a bully? You just stop reacting.
You ignore the fuck out of them, and they will
Right.
kick you out of their house, even.
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Case in point, 2 months ago, right? Like, but that is the thing. Like, that is what you have to do with a person like Trump. And that's why I've continuously said on this show, like, we have to stop talking about Trump. We, as progressive left, black, brown, purple, green, blue people, have to stop concentrating so much and giving so much of our vitriol to Donald Trump because he's only one part of the problem, right? Or he's a symptom of the problem, and we're still, none of us or hardly any of us are focusing on the actual problem, which is supremacy culture in general, not white supremacy, but this idea that people are above another person. That's not true. We are literally all people.
It's not
Literally.
true, and we all of us
Yes.
share DNA with our ape ancestors.
Right.
So um to make it only a black person thing
Yes.
shows your lack of intelligence and how stupid you motherfuckers really are.
Right. Right.
Like, if you took DNA samples from all of us, you would see commonality with the apes.
Right.
Yet the people in that camp also believe that snakes in gardens talk to humans.
And that some humans regenerate. Like a lizard. Like, y'all have seen that episode of this X-Files, right? Because I have. Just saying. That's what QAnon people believe in. Okay.
I'm gonna let you kick off the Epstein files while I go and water the flowers. Go for it.
Great. So y'all know who Epstein is. I'm really not gonna dive super deep into this other than to say there has been another tranche of files released I don't remember how many it was, but it was last weekend, last Friday, I think it was. And of course, people have been, scouring them. They've counted how many times Trump's name appears, like, and all the people that you think are in the files are in the files. Like, and that's why I there are two sentiments that I have really, like, the reason that I have been relatively quiet about the files this whole time is, one, we know it's not going to make a difference because we already knew that Donald Trump is a rapist. Like, that's already been proven in a court of law, and he was still elected, right? And Kavanaugh was still put on the Supreme Court, and Clarence Thomas was still put on the Supreme Court, and Bill Clinton was not impeached. And like, these things have existed for hundreds of years, of rich, powerful, white land owning men getting away with disgusting things. It stems back to slavery and beforehand. How do you control a population? You harm the children and the women, right? Which, again, this leads us right back to supremacy culture that we don't need to utilize. So I have just struggled with the fact that, like, it seems that there is a certain population of people that really thinks that the Epstein files are going to be like the end of Trump, or like the end of Elon, or the end of, like, this rich, powerful class. And like, we know, like Bill Cosby, I think he's out of jail. Like, sure, Johnny Depp lost his job for a while, but he's back, right? Like, anyway, we done knew this is not the shock factor, right? And so I think for a lot of people, this is just becoming like trauma porn, right? And I guess the other thing for me in this particular case is, and Flo and I were talking about this right before we got on here, which is that, like, you all care so deeply about the Epstein files because it is white little girls. And I want to be very clear about that you all care about it because it is white little girls. It is getting more attention because it is white little girls, when literally outside of my door, brown Liam is getting taken.
Brown Liam is being taken, and black girls are being trafficked in and out of DC at
And have been,
staggering.
right? Like, I mean, and like, when we're talking about that, and we're talking about, like, the black men in power who are doing that to the black girls, and how many years they are allowed to continue to do it, right? Because it's black girls, right? Like, y'all want to talk about Diddy? You want to talk about Diddy? You want to talk about what's his name? R. Kelly? Like, these are people that existed in the community that you all supported for years, decades, allowing them to traffic young black girls. But now suddenly you want me to care about these young white girls. And I do care, because I do not think this should happen to anybody. However, it should not be overshadowing what has literally been happening outside of our doors for hundreds of years. Like I said at the beginning of this has its roots in slavery. This is what slave owners did to enslaved people. But y'all didn't care because it wasn't happening to your little white girls. There's a moment, and I've been thinking about this all day. There's a moment in a movie called A Time to Kill. Have y'all ever seen this movie? It's got Matthew McConaughey. It's got Samuel L. Jackson. Okay, it's got Sandra Bullock. All right, it's a very good movie. However, in the movie, Matthew McConaughey plays a lawyer, and he is fighting for Samuel L. Jackson to not get the death penalty, to stay out of jail, because Samuel L. Jackson has killed the man that raped and brutalized his daughter. Okay? That's the backdrop of this movie. And so Matthew McConaughey is standing up there saying what, and this movie always makes me cry, so y'all are just gonna have to, like, hold on a second. Matthew McConaughey is detailing what they did to this little girl. And at the end of his speech, he says, "Now imagine that she was white," because he's talking to a white jury. and they don't care because they don't see Black people as human. So y'all only care about the Epstein files because those are the only girls that you see as human beings. And y'all got to wrestle with that because it's far too common. And it really breaks my heart. And like, again, like, that movie it's stunning, but it's the same as, To Kill a Mockingbird. It's the same story, essentially. And y'all got to start to see the pattern. You got to start to see the pattern that the reason that the Epstein files, that you all want to desperately stop talking about brown people being kidnapped and Black people being kidnapped and abducted and trafficked, is because you do not see those people as human. The reason that you care so much more about Renee and Alex is because you never saw George as human. You never saw Brianna as human. You never saw Philando as human. You never saw Jamal as human. You never saw Trayvon as human. A 13-year-old little Black boy that was shot and killed, who would have celebrated his 31st birthday.
And even if they do see them as human, they don't see them as humans who are worthy of dignity, respect, and life. It's a devaluing, a devaluation of people who feel and breathe. Like, I am so tired of trying to convince other humans of the humanity of people who they see right in front of their faces. Like, you're going to reckon with our I am.
Right. Right.
We're
Like,
here.
even on a smaller level, like, one of the reviews in the freaking Star Tribune was like, it was so bland, and it was like basically accusing this show of being bland. Because who's performing it? Who wrote it? People that you don't see as human. The review was written by a white person.
Review of what show?
My Name is Florence.
I'm gonna be very clear. They are not taste makers of shit. They would not know great art and seasoned food if it were right in their faces and in their mouths. They are not holy because no one's a monolith, but as a collective, they are a jealous, envious. Don't think it's lost on me that the link to listen to the live feed of the show was buried in social media and in all kinds of links. Like, Tara, the show had already started, and Tara was feverishly trying to get the links out for us to have access to listen to the show because of the way the competitive vibes of that culture of palm-colored people is set up. We see you,
Right.
and we're operating around you. If you left us alone, hashtag Black Wall Street, and allowed us. So one of the Adopted Black Artists Program participants this week was talking about it. We have our own doctors. We have our own lawyers. We have our own chefs. We have our own teachers. We have our own husbands coming through. Shout out to Poppy Water. We have our own network of support and credibility. We need you to get out of the way and to let us thrive and flourish. And we're going to do it. We're going to do it. But the Epstein files, that ain't got nothing to do with how we are being asked to devalue ourselves casually daily. And that's what this podcast of resistance is about. That's what the affirmations and action is about. It's about us saying, you don't get to run the plays on our games. It's our shit.
Yeah.
It's our shit. The president might have dementia, but he hasn't forgotten that he doesn't like Black people. Def Not Ant says. Mayor Mamdani says it was intentional.
Uh-oh, what you talking about, Mom Donnie?
Right. I just lost the whole
You did.
thread. Well, we can go and find one of the
Mayor Mom
cutest
Donnie.
mayors in the city. It was intentional.
What you talking about, Willis?
No one is surprised though, unfortunately.
He must be talking about the Trump video.
Must be. Someone says, "Help us, Obi-Wan Mandani. You're our only hope." Someone says, poor JC, Porjaec says he thinks racism will save him from the Epstein files. It's crazy that they really traffic in racist attention.
Mm-hmm.
Liz Dennery says Michelle Obama went to Princeton and Harvard. Donald Trump went to Epstein Island.
Did you see the video? Speaking of Epstein, and because this is all Epstein, did you see the video of the dude who was like, actually, there's a whole bunch of victims in Hollywood, like Macaulay Culkin, who always said that Michael Jackson was innocent, and they think that, like, looking back on it, they think that blaming Michael Jackson for his Neverland thing was just a distraction from Epstein Island because they cannot help but demonize black men.
I would agree. Michael Jackson, which we do not have enough time to talk about today.
We do not have the time, Joe.
Michael Jackson was a very controversial celebrity and figurine in the American culture machine. One thing he told us in multiple different ways and one song prominently was, they don't really care about us.
Mm-hmm.
He was a political and social activist in a time when people were not saying anything about the plight of working class poor people. Like, he got it. He bought his masters. He bought the Beatles masters. Like, he was doing a lot of things to disrupt institutional power.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they tried to culturally assassinate him.
They tried, Joe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw that video this morning and I was like, oh my God, actually though. Like, I never thought them. I mean, there's like, this is the thing. Again, like, I feel like you look at people and you like, or like you experience them and you like know. Like, I've told Flo tons of times. He asks me, I think it was you that asked me about the House of Cards show. Like, did you ever see House of Cards? Or somebody asked me that. And I was like, no, I could never watch it because Kevin Spacey freaked me out. I've never watched a show with Kevin Spacey because I knew that he was a horrible human. Right? Like, I never watched whatever Donald Trump was on because I know that he's a horrible human. Like, we know that these people are horrible humans. I did not get that vibe from Billie Jean is not my lover. I never got that from him. Okay? Like, there's a vibe, there's an energy, there's an aura. It was not him. Like, my God.
And the whole institutional structure, including Oprah and entertainment circles and everyone, was out to make him look wild.
Well, as long as
Meanwhile,
somebody else takes the fall and not them. Like that.
right.
And this,
Yeah,
again, this
Harvey,
is
she's cozying up with Harvey Weinstein and all of
right.
them.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And it's all based
You
again,
also know,
right? Huh?
Keep going. Complete your thought. I was going to say a little trivia thing.
Oh, I was just gonna say that it all leads right back to, again, us addressing the symptoms of what is actually the problem, which is the hierarchy supremacist culture that has been cultivated for the last 1,000 years on this planet. Right? Like, that truly all of this stems from exactly the same place. When you see black people throwing other black people under the bus, it is because of supremacy culture. It's because someone like, right, like straight black people churchy black people throwing gay black people under the bus or trans black people under the bus and saying like you can go after them but don't come after me, that is because of supremacy culture. That's it. That's it. And the sooner that we recognize that, the sooner that we have that conversation, the sooner that we will actually take steps towards liberation where everybody is free and everybody can get left the fuck alone. You know? I
Did
just
you know that they have entombed and encased his casket in a block of concrete to keep people from taking his body?
that doesn't shock me. They should have done that with Jesus.
At least we would know where the fuck he is.
Right. Y'all ever seen the Da Vinci Code? Y'all ever read the Da Vinci Code? Okay? Where's the body? I'm just saying. How come we don't know where Jesus is? Okay?
He is. You don't know that he ascended to the right hand of the
Mm,
Father
I know that he was crucified, died,
and
and he
rose again.
descended into hell.
Oh yeah, that was part of its story. So
That
you
was
were
part
paying
of it too.
attention.
He
You're. You,
crucified, died, and
okay.
descended into hell. And on the
I
third day,
too, like Jesus, have descended into hell.
he rose again. Also,
I
this is
too.
such a side note that every time I think about Jesus ascending, okay, on the third day, I think about Gandalf coming on the fifth day. Okay, like on the fifth day, look to the east. Okay, that's what Gandalf said, and it is. Wait for it.
Hallelujah.
You want to know how old we are? It is the 25th anniversary of the Fellowship of the Ring this year. And I just need y'all to sit with that with me because we are old as shit.
Beloved canon. I started watching it last night again, all 4 hours extended. Beloved canon of the Most High.
And the friendship and the Legolas and the Aragorn and the
It's just
Gandalf.
beautiful. It's
It's
just
just gorgeous.
beautiful. Michael 3TS says, "Man, it's really nice of Bad Bunny to let the Seahawks and Patriots play football before and after his show."
I think that's nice too. But also shout out to Sammy Darnold. Shout out to Sammy Darnold. I hope you win. I hope you get a Super Bowl ring, boo boo. We're sorry that we treated you so poorly last year.
We miss you, and we miss Quasi as well.
We do. Hashtag racism.
Hashtag palm color people going to palm color. And we're calling for ceasefire here on our podcast and television show and inside of our hearts as well. We know that we all can do better and contribute more to the world than what we do in a positive light. And so we're calling for ceasefire over in the Middle East and also in our communities. We know that we can make a difference if we try. We got programs here to sell you and to uplift you in. Adopt a Black Artist is currently recruiting amazing artists from all over the country and the world to uplift and to encourage one another. It's happening in Snapchat communities, WhatsApp communities, Discord servers, a really robust program to help you get out of your own way and to accomplish your dream. Shout out to all the crew over there. I would name names, but I don't want to play favorites as the principal in the high school. So you know who you are, and thank you for being a part of the awesome. I cannot wait to connect with you again very soon. We've got daily ongoing peer support programs happening in multiple channels. If you're interested in being supported or being a supportive presence to people, we would love to hear from you over at lovedandlovable.bio.link, lovedandlovable.bio.link, lovedandlovable.bio.link. And hasn't fully been fleshed out in the new panel and portal platforms that we have, but we at Creative Services Group are doing admin and support services. If you are a person who needs support with your business and your dream, and you need someone to work in the back office of what you've got going on, we have practitioners who are available in the areas of graphic design, executive admin support, business strategy, you name it, we got it here. And you're more than welcome to visit the website and live chat with us to see how we can fit you in and support you with affordable rates. I'm also looking for musicians and talent locally in Savannah, Georgia, and also online for Dr. Flo and the Love Experience. It's going to be an amazing series of shows to encourage the social emotional learning of the kids in all of us and the generations behind us to know that they're loved and lovable. if I could tell every child in my community that they were loved and lovable and what that would mean for their futures, it would make me very happy and it would change the world that I live in. So we're still plugging away. It's been years of working on this project, but like a good wine, it's going to be wonderful in the end to be able to extend my arms into the
That
world.
2022 vintage.
Yes, which was wonderful last.
2017, actually, I believe that's when Love City Art started. So
It was wonderful last night. Really, really wonderful. Tell folks about what you got going on over in your
yeah,
neck of the woods.
I will be so quick. We mentioned it earlier, but I do have a WhatsApp community, TPS Community Commons, that includes liberation conversations as well as blackening the canon. And a new chat called Lift Every Link, where I just literally am tossing links that I don't want to share to my stories, but are relevant. I Dream a World is my newest album, which is again a protest. It is an album of all Black women composers, mostly living. And I will be marketing that more during Black History Month. We're going to play a little Guess the Composer series. I just haven't quite decided how I'm going to do that. And then, of course, we already talked about it, but My Name is Florence is we're half baked, we're half done, but we have 2 more shows this weekend. So Saturday at 7:30 and Sunday at 2 on Flo's birthday. I hopefully will be home in time to host the Super Bowl party, to watch Sammy Darnold and Bad Bunny and have some great food in the process. So that's what's going on, plus lots more. But once again, visit my Instagram, or you can go to my Substack, lifteveryvoice.substack.com, and you can catch up with me there. I do daily updates on both of those platforms, like for sure. If I'm not in my WhatsApp community, I am absolutely there. And of course, I am present also in the Love and Action community spaces. So that's me.
Very present, very appreciated, very loved and lovable. We hope that you all had a blast with us for the last hour and 6 minutes, going on 7 minutes, unpacking the things that are currently going on in our world. And hopefully, we offered thoughts and solutions for you to help things not feel so heavy and to restore this. I can be part of community. I can uplift the things that are important to me. I can be bold in these times. I can leave legacy video and audio behind on YouTube and Twitch and Substack and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and wherever you source your joy about what's important to you in the world. And so thank you for tapping into your breakthrough and connecting and growing and thriving with us today. On behalf of Poppy Water 33 on our leadership team, who you saw pop through a bit today, and Tara Olo Studio, and myself, Ask Dr. Flo, on all platforms, thank you for watching and listening. Stay in your power, stay in your joy, stay loved and lovable, and we'll see you very, very soon around our kingdom of love and joy. Take care.